Hi YouTube, this is Jilly. I wanted to show some of my paintings today that are drying and I think progressing pretty nicely here. And I use coffee to paint with, and then it dries and it has such a beautiful, look at that, you can get a close-up view. It almost looks like a varnish. And I tried making a new coffee paint, or ink I kind of call it, and I mix usually instant coffee with water, but the last time I did it about a week ago, I mixed it with real coffee that I had brewed, and look how thick the ink is turning into. It looks kind of messy in the bowl, but it's so hard I could turn it upside down and it wouldn't come out. And I did mix a little bit of specks of gold paint in there yesterday when I was painting. But look at that. It's just, look how it does look like varnish. And if I put a little water in it, it does turn into a beautiful, I call it coffee paint. But I had done a YouTube about my painting gone wrong. Excuse me, I have a little frog in my throat. A painting gone wrong. And I did a dandelion painting. I take a sip of my coffee. I used to do a coffee talk on my YouTube, and I would drink my coffee while I shot my YouTube, which was probably like a half an hour long. I would just talk about my art and different things that I thought were creative to share. So maybe I'll start doing that again. and I think it's kind of fun. But I want to focus on this painting today because I believe this is a little bit important, because on my business art Facebook, it's called Jilly's Art, which I've had now since I think 2016, and I put all my art on there, my crocheting, my painting, some of my cooking, which can be kind of artistic, but this painting I had done a background little tutorial about how my mentor taught me to put gold paint on a canvas. And I started painting a dandelion. I usually paint what's around me in my life, and I've had dandelions all over the place. And yesterday I saw some bees, and the dandelion painting went terribly wrong when I was painting it. It just did not come out how I wanted. I couldn't get it to look how I wanted. And so I started putting some metallic paint over it just to kind of cover it up and thicken it up. And all of a sudden I thought, oh, I'm going to paint a bee. So I painted this bee, and I've painted a lot of different bees on all different sized canvases and done some honeycombs. And this is just kind of a fun, phantasmic bee. And it's just drying so beautifully. I adjusted it yesterday, so I think I should give it a couple of days before I varnish it. And I do paint the sides of my canvases so people don't have to frame them, which I started doing years ago. And I think that's really nice too, because frames can be a little pricey. And you can frame it. And I put the size on the back of the canvas so people will know if they want to order a frame the size of the painting. But these are 8x10s here. So anyway, I just wanted to show the progress of a painting gone wrong. You can do all different things to paint over a painting, especially if the paint is kind of thick. You can sand it down, you can let it dry, you can scrape it down with different painting products, and a putty knife. I mean, there's just so many different ways you can do it, but I could still rescue this canvas because the paint really wasn't that thick. And I do love painting with nice thick paint so you can see it on the canvas. And the acrylic metallics really are quite beautiful. They don't dry with a smoky matteness, which also has its place. But I love the metallic look. So it's layered with different gold paint, bronze paints, and then the coffee. So just my philosophy is just keep painting. And C Love, who wrote me on my Facebook, thank you very much. And hopefully watching my YouTubes will help with the creativity in your life. I believe you said it was your daughter who might want to see some of my teaching videos. And maybe later what I'll do is I have a new canvas sitting over there. A little canvas. I have a bunch of them. And I'll create maybe another little peppermint painting. And I'll show from the very first step how I do it. So step by step little Jilly painting. And I like to keep it fun and light and show that it is possible. It is possible to create your a fun little painting and do it your way too. Put your little touch on it. And see how I do it. And so many people have different ways that they do paintings, but I'll show what I do. And usually, I would say most of the time, whatever I'm painting, I really kind of investigate it. I look at it, and I've drawn deer, a lot of deer. I've looked at their eyes and their faces and their facial structure. With bees, I've drawn a lot of bees to see, what their body type looks like, where their eyes are located. Because even if you do want to make it kind of animated or cartoony, excuse me, you still want to get the proportions somewhat correct, so when people look at it, they'll see the certain things that they usually know that are there, like a candy cane shaped a certain way. And it is fun to abstract things too. So maybe this will give, like I always say, one person inspiration to try something. And I strongly suggest the metallic acrylics. They dry fast. They're awesome, and you can get them at all different ways. You can buy them at different stores, and they're just really accessible. So I think they're just a great addition to painting. And I hope everybody likes my bee. And love, Jilly.